Well,
get into?
let's see. Actually, I wanted to. There was the one story that you told me about when you were in Italy. Uh, the carnation. The that you were
Oh,
given. Yeah, if you could tell that.
during the war, we were fighting through Italy, up through the boot of Italy, and up through the Brenner Pass. Now, on the way up Italy, we were fighting all the way up against the Germans. A lot of the Italians were very happy to see the 10th Mountain Division come in and, oh, what's the word that they use when we
Liberated?
liberate. That's good. Yes, thank you. When we liberate them from the Germans, because they really, the Italian people never liked the Germans in their country, and they weren't really a strong part of the axis of Germany that tried to get Italy on their side. So when we advanced further and further into the northern part of Italy, we would liberate these certain towns, and all the people would come out and throw bouquets and give us carnations and all sorts of flowers. And on one occasion, the four of us from Cleveland that volunteered together, we were still together because this was the only service where we could stay together. Yeah, because in the Army or other place you would be dispersed throughout the country. So we stayed together, and we met other friends. And one of our good friends, his name was Felix Tolliver from New Jersey. And we all received from one family beautiful carnations to thank us for liberating their town, and they brought out the wine and everything. And then we would stop there and have lunch with them, and then go on our army ways, trying to chase the Germans further north and north and north, back in off of Italy into the through the Alps and the Brenner Pass. The next stop that we made was the next town. One of our very good friends that had the same carnation as we did was shot by a sniper and killed. And it, of course, to this day, reminds us also about flowers in the lapel, and we don't really use them, or we have bad memories of it from that time on. But then we were very successful. We went on and defeated the German army and went on to Lake Como and into the Brenner Pass, and that was about the end of the war then in the European theater. And then I can go back into our personal history, where we came back to the United States and got into the business world and some of the things we did there, and it turned out to be quite successful, and we're very proud of that experience also.
And you
Very
met
cool.
me
Oh, I met my darling wife, Audrey.
when I was 16 years old.
We came back from the service wearing our ski pants and ski boots and real rah-rah guys, jocks, as you would call them today. And I went out to a camp in Cleveland called Chippewa Park. And Audrey heard I was coming out, and of course,
It was a place where there were summer homes.
summer homes, summer cottages, and a lake. And I saw Audrey diving into the water and doing all sorts of cute tricks in
Showing
in the
off.
pool, showing off for these big ski troopers coming back. And I started writing to her when we had to go back into the services. We were just on a break, R&R they call it, R&R.
Rest and
Rest
relaxation.
and
Rest and
relax.
relax and R&R. Anyways, I'll think of it. But then we had to go back. We were on furlough. That's the word when we were in Cleveland. Then we had to go back to camp, and I started writing to Audrey, and she wrote back to me. And a couple of years after that, we met again and became serious and got married, and had Dory's mother as our second daughter. And there's a big story following that too.
Grandma, growing up, what kind of experiences can you remember? Just with so much background.
Um, we used to go to Florida every year, and one of the fun things that we did was every
But
Christmas.
tell them why you went to Florida, because we lived in Cleveland.
We lived in Cleveland.
And
The weather was terrible.
The winters were really bad in Cleveland. And fortunately, her family was able to go down to Florida and spend the winter in Florida.
And
where
I
it
used
was-
to go to school in Florida and the second half of every year. First half I would go, the first semester I'd be in Cleveland for school, second semester I'd be in Florida for school. And I don't know what else to say about that.
Well, it was enough. You had a good
Okay.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was just, and finally, after we were married, and Dory's mother and her sister Sherry grew up, I moved to Florida because I liked it so well.
Because the Cleveland winters were really brutal. There wasn't any sun for maybe 3 months at a time. And a lot of people at that time were starting to go down there for vacations. Of course, we extended our vacation down there, and I, at one time, took an apartment down in Florida, and Audrey literally lived there all year long, and I would go down there every 2 weeks for about, a week or so. And I was really commuting back and forth between Cleveland and Florida. At that time, my dad started a business that then we inherited called Marsh Allen Manufacturing. I know. And then we started manufacturing housewares products. And some of the products that you're familiar with today is a TV tray table. And we were the first ones. If you know, when you're watching your television set, you have a stand and a tray, and now they're in sets of 4. They're wooden ones, much more deluxe ones. But we developed first the steel ones and then the wooden ones, and we're selling as many as 500,000 a year of those TV tray tables as TV was becoming more and more popular. And as TV was becoming more and more popular, we would then sell more and more tray tables. And then, about 25 years ago, we had an opportunity through a premium company to start manufacturing picnic barbecue grills. And we started manufacturing just a small 12-inch picnic barbecue grill with charcoal and sell it as a premium if you bought a package of tea. It was with Lipton Tea Company. And I'll make this short. Then after
Because
the...
she wants to know some of the Jewish background too.
Oh, okay. And then after the 12-inch, 18-inch, 24, we started making grills. And to this day, we're still making 4 or 5 million of those charcoal barbecue grills a year. Now, as far as our own personal background, we became very much involved in the community in Cleveland. We became very much involved with philanthropic organizations, and to this day we're continuing that tradition that we...
I volunteered at the Jewish hospital, Mount Sinai, and we got very active in the temple, which we call Silver's Temple, and we had a very large Jewish community, and our whole social life revolved around Jewish Country Club, Jewish Temple, Jewish Hospital, and we all seemed to know each other. Our friends were part of that community. When we moved to California, we found that there was much more mixing of...
Excuse me. We were in Florida, and then our oldest daughter, Sherry, moved to California. And at that time, we were living part of the time in Florida in the wintertime. But when Sherry moved to California, we went out there for a visit, and we really liked it. much better than Florida. So we actually bought an apartment out there, and then eventually bought a home out there. And at this point in time, we're really living half of the time in California, or most of the time in California, San Francisco, a little bit north of the Golden Gate Bridge in Sonoma County, and enjoying it very, very much, and have a good life out there, and traveling, and just lots of other exciting things going on.
But we are finding that a lot of our friends are not all Jewish the way it was in Cleveland. Cleveland had a very close Jewish community.
A very strong Jewish community,
Yeah.
and in fact, would donate per capita more money to Israel than any other city in the country. Because, number one, I was chairman for 3 or 4 years of the manufacturing